As the court prepared to hear the case, Bashir posed for a group photo. Earlier on, President Omar al-Bashir was welcomed by South African officials as he arrived in Johannesburg. He is wanted by the Icc on war crimes and genocide charges of the Darfur conflict. However, there are tensions between the Icc and the African Union, with some on the continent accusing the court of unfairly targeting Africans. The AU has previously urged the Icc to stop proceedings against sitting leaders. The warrants against Bashir, who denies the allegations, have severely restricted his overseas travel. He has, however, visited friendly states in Africa and the Middle East. South Africa has often shied away from this sort of diplomatic headache, but this time the government has stepped up straight and deliberately into controversy, courting Western fury by rolling out the welcome carpet for Bashir. The South African government must surely have foreseen the possibility of a legal challenge. If President Omar al-Bashir is allowed to return home impeded, South Africa's actions will be bitterly condemned internationally, if less loudly within the continent, as a blow against the credibility of the Icc. And if Sudanese president is detained or perhaps even arrested, then Pretoria will be accused of luring a fellow African leader into a trap. Some would call that a no-win situation. But it's clear that South Africa's government has chosen to flaunt its growing antipathy towards Western rules and towards a court in which so many African leaders can now appear to have lost faith. The Icc has issued 2 arrest warrants for Bashir. The court relies on member states to carry out arrests. However, correspondents have said that South African government, a signatory to the treaty establishing the Icc, is unlikely to move against the Sudanese leader. South Africa's governing African National Congress said immunity had been granted to all summit participants as part of the international norms for countries hosting such gatherings of the AU or even the United Nations. Human rights organizations and South Africa's main opposition party have called for Bashir's arrest. Darfur has been in conflict since 2003 when rebels took up arms against the government. The UN says more than 300,000 people have died, mostly from disease. Hundreds of villages have been attacked. More than 2 million people, about a third of the population, have fled their homes. Sudanese forces and allied militias are accused of oppressing black Africans in favor of Arabs.